Hey guys, welcome to episode number 588. Today is Monday, so it's Update Monday. And today we are moving the turtle tank. That's right, we're gonna drain all 300 gallons, rip all of the barrels apart, and move it a total of 4 feet across the room in order to clear up the entire wall to start building our Zoomed Lowboy Fishroom system. It's gonna be a lot of work. I have moved this stock tank 2 or 3 times in the past, and it basically takes an entire day. Because you gotta clean things up, you gotta check out all of the turtles, you gotta look at all of the fish. Anyways, it's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. But before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't already and you want to help support this channel, you can always go check out myaquariumbox.com and betaoasis.com. And if you live in the New England area, you do not want to miss the ACA's convention. That's the American Cichlid Association's convention. It's happening soon. It's happening July 18th through the 20th in Cromwell, Connecticut at the Red Lion Inn. Stay tuned later in the video for more details about this event. It's gonna be a lot of fun and I hope to see you there. Anyways guys, we've got a lot of work to do today, so let's get started. So come along with me and learn how to be a better aquarist. Alright guys, and here is your weekly reminder that the ACA convention, that's the American Cichlid Association's annual convention, is coming up really fast. It's July 18th through the 20th, and it's at the Red Lion Inn in Cromwell, Connecticut. If you live anywhere within driving distance, you want to make sure you attend the ACA this year. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I'll leave a link down below, or you can Google ACA Convention, American Cichlid Association, click on that Quest for the Holy Grail button, and you'll be taken to the registration page. If you decide to register for the ACA this year, please, as your middle name, put YTGJ as your middle name when you're registering for the event. First 10 people to come find me at the event with YTGJ as their middle name, will get a free t-shirt. So if you haven't registered yet for the ACA and you want to go, definitely go register now because time is certainly running out. The ACA is a great event. There's a bunch of awesome speakers. There's a giant vendor room full of awesome vendors, including my aquarium box. So come find us at the show. Also, there is a giant Sunday auction, which you do not want to miss. Even if you aren't able to register and attend for the entire weekend, definitely do not miss out on the giant Sunday auction. So, I hope to see you there. All right, guys, and here we are the next morning. That time lapse of taking this turtle tank down took all night. I think it was up till 1 in the morning, draining that, moving it, and then setting it back up. And obviously the camera battery cut out right towards the end. But this is where the 300-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank ended up. It only moved a few feet here. It was right here with a few barrels and a bunch of cinder blocks. I removed all the barrels and cinder blocks and just slid the 2x6 frame over here to keep it off the ground, and then positioned it against this wall over here. This side of the basement is going to be out of the way for the first part of the fish room reconstruction project, which will include stripping the first 4 or 5 feet of this floor and painting the wall, and then painting an epoxy coat on the floor so I can get my entire 50-gallon Zoomed Lowboy stand built all the way across this wall here. So the wall itself is completely clear. There's nothing left on this wall whatsoever. I even took the linear piston air pump off the wall, and it's sitting down here on the floor. This is a Gemco model, and this has been running reliably and consistently for 5 years. And I think they recommend replacing the filter every 6 months, but this is a 5-year-old filter, and it's not that bad. Honestly, I'm actually kind of surprised, but it's been running reliably for 5 years. I might take the opportunity to replace the filter now, or at least clean it out now that it's not operational for a few weeks. But that's that. Super pleased with that. It's been running like a champ. But let's talk about the turtle stock tank for a few minutes before we take a look at the wall and what's up next. So this thing, like I said, took forever to drain down, and by the time I had it set back up, I didn't really have enough time to fill this with water, specifically warm water. And so when I ran out of warm water from the tap, I just stopped and went to bed. So this tank is half full at the moment, and tonight I'll probably do the other half and allow the hot water to warm back up overnight. So we don't have any cold showers, but that's the life of fish keeping, right? You're kind of limited to the number of gallons you can do, and 300 gallons is quite a bit of water. So we got about 150 gallons in here. You'll see we do have a 2-inch uniseal on the side here. This used to be connected to a bucket or a 55-gallon barrel, and that was my wastewater overflow port. But for right now, it's just non-operational. So I think what I'm gonna do is just leave the water level just low enough so that we're not dripping water out of that bulkhead. And this is a very temporary setup. I just put it together as quickly as I could, and it's still got work to do, which we'll do in the coming week. Obviously, first up is to fill this thing back up. After that, we've got our basking platform that needs to be tied off in a couple places so that it rests directly over our mercury vapor bulb, and that will allow these turtles to start basking once more. It's been like this for one night, and even if it went for a couple days, they'd probably be fine.
but they do like to bask every day, so that's on the top of my list to do, which we will certainly get done. And if we look over here, the quick way that I set this up just to get it running, to get it operational, was to put our pump actually in the tank with the turtles. And you can see there's a intake screen there to make sure that we don't suck up any fish. And then we've got our 1-inch pond line. I actually would not recommend using this kind of ribbed pond line indoors because it can crack, it can get brittle, it can break, and then you could get water spraying all over the place. And that's especially true if you have too sharp of an angle coming off of like a bulkhead or a clamp like this, like a hose clamp, because if that line is sort of under pressure and is bending, that's where you're going to cause some stress, and if it's under too much pressure from the pump, it could blow. So important to know, but this is temporary, and I've made sure that this is as straight of a bend as possible. And that's just going to come up here into our single barrel for the moment, because we don't even have air yet. And that's just going into our K1 micro, hopefully keeping this bacteria culture alive for the next day or two until we get air back set up on this tank. But we are moving it, we're just not moving it as vigorously as it needs to in order to keep that bacteria and those pieces all stirred up. We have our basement dog down here, Polly. It's been raining and there's been a lot of thunder, and she does not like those things. So she's been spending a lot of time with Dad down in the basement helping out. We did have a few escaped crayfish that were sitting inside the driftwood, and I think I found all of them. I don't think Polly managed to find a single one. You're not doing your job, dog. You're not doing your job. Why not? Anyways, she likes to sleep down here. It's nice and cool in the summer, so yeah, she likes to lick the fish food off the floor too, so it's a fun place to hang out for a dog. So anyways, that's the 300-gallon stock tank. Again, I'll get this the rest of the way set up today, but it was a long night, and I'm happy I got it at least operational. We got water flowing, and we got heaters plugged in, so those are the biggest things. So we'll get the water up, the basking platform on, and then we'll add some air. And it should be good for the next few weeks until we figure out a long-term solution. All right, now let's talk about this wall for a few minutes. We have essentially a 24-foot wall, I believe, from over here, where we actually have our water main, so we can't obstruct that. And we also have our electrical and our cable box, so we can't obstruct that either. So this corner is sort of off limits to everything except for maybe like a table or something. But essentially we have the whole rest of the wall here to work with, and it's completely clear. And if we're looking for another measurement, we've got just about 4 feet to work with from the corner there to where the door starts here. So we have plenty of space for a rack system for these 50-gallon Zoomed Lowboy tanks. And what I'm thinking is, in this corner we're going to have 4 barrels, and they're going to be as tight together as we can possibly get them. They're probably going to be 30-gallon barrels. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 barrels. 1 for our mechanical filtration, 1 for our biologic filtration, the next one for a filter sock and a return pump, and then the final one for our wastewater overflow barrel. And we still have our sump pump over here, just sitting on a barrel or on a bucket. And we may actually retire this guy and upgrade it to something a little bit newer, something a little less rusty. I think it's a good investment every 5 years to swap out your sump pumps because that's the thing that's keeping the water off the floor. Anyways, I got a little bit of a cold, but so we're gonna have 4 30-gallon barrels really in a tight cluster over here, and then immediately after that we're gonna start our racking system, and it's gonna go all the way across to almost where the cable box is over there. And we're gonna get 4 50-gallon Zoomed Lowboy tanks right in a row next to each other, and then we're gonna go 3 tanks total in height. So we're gonna get 12 tanks on this wall, and it's gonna be awesome. We are gonna end up obstructing our windows, but we do have an emergency exit up the main stairs to the basement, and then also the bulkhead here. So we should be good in that regard. Plus, I don't even think I could get out one of those windows. But anyways, there's that. So we do lose access to those windows, but don't really use those anyways. We do have the remnants of our air system up here and our automatic drip system up here, and we have a lot of electrical up here already, so we should be pretty good on all of those things. But the next big things to focus on are stripping this floor, painting the wall, painting the floor, and then we can get moving on building the stand. And I'm really looking forward to building the stand because I'm going to use the dado method and use 2x4 construction. And I've never used the dado method before, so that'll be interesting. So the 2 first products that we're going to use here on the floor, and this will start next week, is this paint stripper. And that's gonna get all this red paint off the floor. And again, we're probably only gonna do like the first 4 or 5 feet against this wall here. And we're gonna try to strip that down to the bare concrete. At the same time, we're going to use our fast setting cement patch mix to patch all of the holes that are in this wall. I've got holes all over the place in this wall, some that I've drilled, some that were here. I just want to make sure that this wall is as clean and smooth as possible before I start rolling my dry lock basement, latex basement sealer paint across this wall. So we're gonna do some cement patchwork. We're gonna roll this wall twice with dry lock. We're gonna strip the floor, and then we're gonna do probably 2 coats of epoxy paint on the floor as well. And the floor is gonna be white, and the wall is gonna be white, and then the 2x4 stand with the dado cuts is also gonna be painted white, and then I think I'm gonna do a black background on the tanks themselves, but it should look pretty snazzy. And now all of the space is available to get this work underway, which we will start next week.
All right, guys, and that's gonna do it for this week's video. It took a long time. In fact, it took all day to drain down that turtle tank and move it, just slide it a few feet across the room. But it was totally worth it because now we have complete access to the entire wall, so we can start prepping the wall, prepping the floor, getting those painted and ready so that we can start building the stand. Again, we have the Zoomed Lowboy 50-gallon tanks on their way, so things are gonna happen very quickly, and I'm really excited to get this project into high gear. It's never fun to do cleanup. It's never fun to take a break and just tear things apart, but every once in a while it is necessary. And I think all of the stuff we've done over the past few weeks has definitely been worth it. It's amazing to think that it took years and years to build this fish room, and it only took a couple weeks to tear it completely apart. There is almost nothing left in this basement right now except for the 300-gallon stock tank that's behind me. And again, I'm not even sure if we're keeping that. We're gonna have to see. But it's been a lot of work. We've got a lot more work to do. in the coming weeks. So hopefully you will join me as we continue this quest to build the 50-gallon Zoomed Lowboy Fishroom. We also have a lot of updates to share in the next few weeks about the outdoor goldfish pond and the aquaponics greenhouse. A lot of fun things happening out there as well. Sorry we didn't get to see that this week. It has been raining basically non-stop, and it's really not nice weather to be outdoors, but plenty nice enough being stuck down here in the basement. So that's what we've been up to. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.
Sit. Oh, good dog. Good basement doggy. Yeah.